Hi all, today let's learn about async and await keywords in promises. So let first of all let me create a promise. So let promise demo is equal to new promise. And as I've told you in the previous video, you can check that video as well. So promise, the constructor of the promise will have a arrow function in the syntax. So this is how the syntax looks, and inside the arrow function we will have resolve and reject as parameters. Okay, so let us say I am just resolving it for now, and I will use a thing called set timeout. Okay, so basically I want to resolve it after 2 seconds. I want to print something, send something. Okay, so in the set timeout also it will be like a arrow function. This is how a set timeout looks. Okay, here I will mention the milliseconds. So after 2 seconds, basically 2000 milliseconds, I want to resolve this. Okay, so I am resolving success. I'm not performing any operation, I am directly resolving this promise just for showcasing you what is the significance of async and await. Okay, so this is our simple promise. Now let me create a function where I will use async and await keyword. Okay, so let's name the function as demo function. Okay, now let's understand. Let's say the ask is that I want to perform some operation only after the promise is resolved or rejected. That means, let's say this promise, until this promise is not resolved or rejected, we should not go to the next line of the code. That means the next operation or next console should not be printed. So in that scenario, we will use a thing called async and await to make sure that the asynchronous operation performs synchronously. Okay, so it goes line by line, because currently the operation is getting performed asynchronously. It won't wait until the line is executed properly. It won't be waiting it, because it is running in parallel. Promise is run in parallel. Okay, so it will go to the next line of the code. Okay, so currently what will happen is, let's say I'm printing the console here only after promise done, promise finished. Okay, this is our console, and the next console is this promise itself. What is the name of the promise? Promise demo. Okay, I'm consoling both of them. Let's see what has happened. So before that, I need to call that method, call that function as well. So I'm calling that function. Now let's see on running what is happening. Okay, so what it is printing? Okay, there is a syntax error in the console.log. Let me run it again. So what is happening? Only after promise is finished, it is getting printed first, then it is going to the next line. What it is showing? Promise pending. It is in the pending state because 2 seconds are not yet completed. Okay, so what I will do now is, let us say if I put this line above this line, okay, and I clear this and I go this, promise pending only after promise resolved. This is printing like this. Okay, what will happen if I use the async and await keyword, which I was telling you just few seconds ago? Okay, async keyword is always placed as a suffix to the function where I want to use the await function. Basically, I want the function to wait until the promise is resolved or rejected before going to the next console. Okay, so I am consoling here, instead of promise demo, I will console await promise demo. Await, as the name suggests, it means that until this thing is completed, it won't go to the next line. Basically, wait. Okay, so whenever I want to use the await keyword, make sure you are using this async keyword as well as a suffix to the function. Okay, now let's see what has happened. Okay, what you can see here is it is throwing success here, and then only it is going to this line. Okay, so it is waiting until this promise is resolved. In this case, resolved, it can be rejected as well, but I have just resolved it for telling you how it works. So after 2 seconds are done, the set timeout will return this success as the value of this resolve callback function. Okay, so after that, this success will come, and this success will be received here in the await of the console, and then this will be printed, and then only we are printing here. Okay, so it is waiting until the operation is completed. It is not going to print that it is in the pending state. Okay, so this is how async and await keywords work. Also, you can try a thing called try and catch block in that. Let's say I want to handle the resolve in a separate block and reject in the separate block. If it is rejected, then it will go to the catch block. Okay, in the await itself, in that this function also. Okay, so I can put a try block here, that try. If this is returning something, if promise demo is resolving, then it will go to the try block, otherwise it will go to the catch block. Okay, so you can try that on your own, and then I can tell you if you get any doubts. Also, as I've told you in the previous video, let me just recap. We can use a dot then and dot catch for handling the promise. Okay, so the syntax looks like this: dot then dot catch. Let's say I want to perform some operation after it is getting resolved. So the syntax will be like, it will be an arrow function. So what I can write, similarly in the catch block, it will be an arrow function. Okay, so what is happening here is, you can do it on your own as well, but I am just telling you. I have already told you in the previous video, but what is happening is, if I do it in this way, you can see it is getting changed. Let's say there are multiple promises, then I will have to use dot then dot catch again and again. Like I want to perform some operation after this promise is done, then I will go to the dot then I will perform that operation. Then and if it is getting rejected, then I want to perform something, then it will go to the dot catch. So this thing is handled in a better way in this async and await, because it is performing synchronously. That means, let's say I am having 5-6 promises, then only if the first promise is resolved or reject, then only second promise will be called. Like that, you can understand. Here also same thing you can do, that like the promise demo, if it is happening, if it is getting resolved, then in the dot then you can call the other promise. This is also the same thing, but it is a bit complicated. It can make your code complex. So that's why we use async and await when there are so many promises, so to avoid the chaining of promises. Okay, so thank you. And as I have told you that this is a JavaScript, I am making videos on JavaScript, important topics for interviews, and as also for Salesforce perspective. If you are a LWC developer, you already know that JavaScript is used widely. Okay, so in the previous video I have told you about promises, and in the other video I have told you about reduce method, which we use in the JavaScript. So you can watch those videos as well, and do save this playlist, because I am going to make more videos on JavaScript. Thank you.